Stop scrolling right now because what I'm about to tell you could literally be happening to you this very moment. And you have absolutely no idea. Right now, there's probably a woman in your life. Someone you text, someone you see regularly, maybe someone you work with or hang out with, who is quietly, secretly into you. Hard. She's not going to tell you. She's not going to make it obvious. In fact, she's probably working overtime to hide it because she's terrified of what might happen if you found out. But while she thinks she's being subtle, she's actually giving away everything through her behavior. Here's what's going to blow your mind. Women who are genuinely into someone don't act the way you think they do. They don't become more obvious or direct. They actually become more careful, more guarded, and more strategic, because the stakes feel so much higher. When a woman develops real attraction, not just casual interest, but genuine romantic investment, her behavior changes in very specific ways. You've probably been missing these signals completely. You might think she's just being friendly, or maybe you've convinced yourself she's not interested because she hasn't explicitly told you how she feels. But what if I told you that her silence about her feelings is actually the biggest sign that those feelings exist? See, when women have casual interest in a guy, they're often more forward about it. They'll flirt openly, make jokes about dating, or drop obvious hints. But when they start developing real feelings, everything changes. They become protective of those emotions, scared of rejection, and incredibly careful about how they express themselves. Today, I'm going to reveal 7 secret signals that she's not just being friendly, she's genuinely into you and hoping you'll pick up on what she's putting down. These aren't the obvious signs you'd expect. These are the subtle behavioral changes that happen when a woman goes from casual interest to genuine attraction and emotional investment. And here's the crazy part. If you recognize even 4 of these signals in someone's behavior toward you, she's probably been thinking about you way more than you realize. She might be planning conversations with you, wondering what you think about her, and secretly hoping that you're developing the same feelings she is. Pay attention, because once you see these signals, you'll never miss them again. And more importantly, you'll finally understand what's really happening when someone starts acting differently around you. Signal 1. She remembers the tiniest details about your life. This first signal is huge, and it's happening right under your nose. When a woman is genuinely into you, she doesn't just remember the big things you tell her. She remembers everything, and I mean everything. She remembers that you mentioned your favorite childhood snack 3 weeks ago. She remembers the name of your coworker who annoys you. She remembers that you have a dentist appointment next Tuesday. You probably think she just has a good memory, but here's what's really happening. When someone is into you, their brain automatically prioritizes and stores every piece of information about you. Everything you say becomes important because you're becoming important to her. This shows up in ways that might surprise you. She'll bring up something you mentioned in passing weeks ago. She'll ask how that thing you were worried about worked out. She'll reference jokes you made or opinions you shared in conversations you barely remember having. Her brain is essentially creating a detailed file about who you are because she's emotionally invested in understanding you completely. But here's the key difference between casual interest and genuine attraction. She doesn't just remember what you said, she remembers how you said it, what you were doing when you said it, and how it made her feel. When a woman is into you, conversations with you become emotionally significant events that her memory treats as important. You might notice that she brings up details about your life when you're talking to other people, almost like she's proud of how well she knows you. She might mention your goals, your interests, or your opinions in group conversations, because knowing you well has become something valuable to her. The psychology here is that when women develop genuine feelings, they unconsciously collect information about the person they're attracted to. It's not strategic, it's automatic. Her brain is trying to understand everything about you because you've become emotionally significant to her. Signal 2. Her body language completely changes when you're around. This signal is subtle but incredibly revealing. When a woman is into you, her entire physical presence shifts when you enter a room. It's not just that she looks at you, her whole body unconsciously orients itself toward you. and she becomes more aware of her own physical presence. You might notice that she sits up straighter when you walk in, that she unconsciously touches her hair more when talking to you, or that she finds reasons to be physically closer to you than necessary. But here's what most guys miss. She also becomes more graceful and deliberate in her movements when you're watching. When a woman is genuinely interested in someone, she becomes hyper-aware of how she looks and moves around that person. She might take a little longer to get ready when she knows she'll see you. She might be more conscious of her posture, her gestures, and her facial expressions because she wants to look attractive to you. But the most telling sign is how she positions herself in relation to you. She'll find excuses to be in your line of sight. She'll position herself so she can see you even when you're not directly interacting. If you're in a group, she'll somehow end up where she can watch your reactions and engage with you easily. The psychology behind this is that when women develop genuine attraction, they want to be noticed and appreciated by the person they're interested in. Her body language becomes more intentional because she's unconsciously trying to attract and maintain your attention. You'll also notice that she mirrors your energy and posture more than usual. If you lean back, she might lean back. If you become more animated, she becomes more expressive. This mirroring happens because she's subconsciously trying to create harmony and connection with you. Signal 3. She creates reasons to text you throughout the day. Here's a signal that's happening in your phone right now. When a woman is into you, she doesn't just respond to your texts. She actively looks for reasons to start conversations with you. She'll send you funny memes, share articles she thinks you'd find interesting, or ask questions that she could easily Google herself. But here's what separates genuine interest from casual friendship: the timing and frequency of her messages. She's not just texting when she's bored. She's texting when she's thinking about you, which is probably way more often than you realize. You might notice that she texts you about random things happening in her day, almost like she wants to share her experiences with you. She might send you photos of things that reminded her of you, or she might text you when something funny happens because you're one of the first people she wants to tell. The key indicator here is that her texts often don't require responses, but she sends them anyway. She's not texting because she needs something from you. She's texting because she wants to maintain a connection with you throughout the day. You've become someone she naturally wants to share her thoughts and experiences with. When a woman is genuinely into you, you start appearing in her daily mental narrative. She'll see something and think, he would find this funny, or I should tell him about this. These texts are evidence that you're occupying mental space in her day-to-day life. You might also notice that she responds to your texts faster and with more thought than she used to. Her messages become longer, more detailed, and more engaging because conversations with you have become more important to her. Signal 4. She becomes protective of your time together. This signal is subtle but incredibly telling. When a woman is into you, she starts treating time with you as precious and doesn't want to share it unnecessarily. She might suggest quieter places to hang out, or she might seem less enthusiastic about group activities where your attention will be divided. You might notice that she tries to extend conversations when you're together, finding reasons to keep talking even when there's a natural ending point. She might suggest one more drink or let's walk a little further because she doesn't want your time together to end. When a woman is genuinely interested in someone, she starts craving one-on-one time because group interactions don't satisfy her desire for deeper connection. She wants to be able to focus on you completely and have your focus in return. But here's the key indicator. She becomes almost territorial about interruptions when you're together. If someone calls you while you're hanging out, she might seem slightly annoyed. If friends join you unexpectedly, she might be polite but less enthusiastic than usual. The psychology here is that when women develop genuine feelings, quality time becomes incredibly valuable to them. They want undivided attention and the opportunity to create intimate moments and deeper connections. You might also notice that she remembers and brings up things that happened during your time together, almost like she's treasuring those memories. She might reference conversations you had, jokes you shared, or moments that felt special to her. Signal 5. She asks about your dating life in careful ways. Here's a signal that reveals everything. When a woman is into you, she becomes incredibly curious about your romantic situation, but she asks about it in very strategic, careful ways. She's not going to directly ask if you're single. She's going to find subtle ways to gather this information. She might ask about your weekend plans in a way that would reveal if you're dating someone. She might mention dating in general and watch your reaction. She might ask about your ex-relationships in a casual way that seems like friendly conversation but is actually intelligence gathering. The key is that these questions feel natural and conversational, but if you pay attention, you'll notice a pattern. She's consistently trying to understand your romantic availability and your relationship history because this information is crucial to someone who's developing feelings. When a woman is genuinely into you, your dating status becomes the most important piece of information she doesn't have. She needs to know if pursuing her feelings is even a possibility, but she's terrified of making it obvious why she's asking. You might notice that she pays extra attention to your answers about relationships, remembering details about your dating preferences or relationship history. She's not just making conversation. She's trying to understand what kind of partner you're looking for and whether she might fit that description. Another indicator is how she reacts when you mention other women. She might become quieter, ask follow-up questions, or seem less engaged in the conversation. She's trying to assess whether these women represent competition for your attention. Signal 6. She shows genuine interest in your goals and dreams. When a woman is into you, she doesn't just want to know about your day. She wants to understand your aspirations, your ambitions, and your vision for your future. She asks about your goals not just to make conversation, but because she's starting to imagine herself as part of your life. You'll notice that she remembers your goals and follows up on them later. If you mention wanting to learn something new, she'll ask about your progress weeks later. If you're working toward a professional goal, she'll check in about how it's going and celebrate your achievements. But here's what reveals her deeper feelings. She starts offering to help or support your goals in concrete ways. She might send you articles related to your interests, offer to help with projects, or suggest resources that could be useful to you. She's not just interested in your success, she wants to contribute to it. The psychology behind this is that when women develop genuine attraction, they start thinking about partnership and how they could add value to that person's life. Your goals become important to her because your happiness and success become important to her. She might also start sharing her own goals and dreams with you more openly, almost like she's testing whether your visions for the future are compatible. She's unconsciously evaluating whether you could build a life together. You might notice that she speaks about your goals with pride when talking to other people, almost like your success reflects well on her. She's emotionally invested in your achievements because she's emotionally invested in you. Signal 7. She becomes nervous and self-conscious around you. This final signal might seem counterintuitive, but it's actually one of the strongest indicators that someone is into you. When a woman develops genuine feelings, she often becomes more nervous and self-conscious around you, not less. You might notice that she seems to overthink her words when talking to you, or she might seem slightly flustered in ways she didn't before. She might laugh a little too much at your jokes, or seem to lose her train of thought occasionally when you're looking directly at her. This happens because when someone is genuinely into you, the stakes feel much higher. She cares more about your opinion of her, so she becomes more worried about saying or doing something that might make her seem less attractive to you. But here's the key indicator. This nervousness is combined with her clearly wanting to be around you more, not less. If she was just uncomfortable, she'd create distance. Instead, she's drawn to you despite the nervous energy you create in her. The psychology here is that developing strong feelings creates vulnerability, and vulnerability can manifest as nervous energy. She's not nervous because she doesn't like you. She's nervous because she likes you so much that your opinion of her has become incredibly important. You might notice that she's more careful about her appearance when she knows she'll see you, or she might seem to rehearse conversations with you in her head. She's putting pressure on herself to be perfect around you because you've become someone whose approval she desperately wants. The psychology behind secret signals. Understanding why women communicate through secret signals instead of direct words requires recognizing the complex emotions involved in genuine attraction. When interest is casual, there's less risk in being straightforward. But when feelings become real and intense, the potential for hurt increases dramatically. Women often use secret signals when they're genuinely into someone because they're protecting themselves from the vulnerability that comes with real emotional investment. They'd rather communicate indirectly and hope you pick up on their interest than risk the pain of direct rejection when their feelings are sincere. There's also the fear of changing the dynamic. If she's enjoying your current relationship, whether it's friendship, casual interaction, or early dating, she might be terrified that being too direct about her deeper interest could ruin what you already have if you don't feel the same way. What this means for you. If you're recognizing multiple signals in someone's behavior toward you, you're probably dealing with someone who has developed genuine interest but is too scared or uncertain to express it directly. This puts you in a powerful position to either encourage those feelings or address them with sensitivity. The most important thing to understand is that these signals indicate real emotional investment, not just casual attraction. If someone is displaying these behaviors, they're not just physically attracted to you. They're developing the kind of feelings that could lead to something meaningful. The most important thing to remember about these secret signals is that they represent genuine emotional vulnerability. When someone is into you but communicating through signals instead of direct words, they're in an emotionally fragile state where they're hoping you'll recognize their interest without them having to risk explicit rejection. If you're interested in someone who's showing these signals, consider making the first move to address the attraction that's clearly there. Sometimes the kindest thing you can do is acknowledge what's happening and create a safe space for honest conversation about mutual interest. Remember that being genuinely into someone is a vulnerable, scary experience, especially when you're not sure if those feelings are reciprocated. If someone is showing you these signals, they're trusting you with their emotional investment, even if they're not saying it out loud. The right response is always honesty and kindness, whether you're interested in pursuing something deeper or you need to gently clarify that you see the relationship differently. Either way, recognizing these signals helps you understand what's really happening beneath the surface of your interactions.